Hi, welcome to Christina's Knitting Catch-Up. I don't know what episode this is, 27 maybe. Today is Sunday the 7th of February 2016. It's a very beautiful sunny day here in Canberra, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about knitting and stuff. So I thought I'd start with shop news. As you know, I opened my Etsy shop on Monday last week, and it did pretty well. I sold out all but one of my big skeins, and yeah, I was really happy with that. We had one little hitch where if people bought two items, they were being charged way too much postage, so I fixed that and I refunded the people who were charged too much. So if you bought two skeins, thanks for your patience. Yeah, and everyone who bought one skein wasn't charged too much postage. So this is the only big skein left in the shop. This peachy colour with red and yellow speckles. I think it's really pretty. And I've got a bunch of minis still in the shop, getting tangled. Here's all my minis together. So here's one set of minis by itself. I made a label. Beautiful yarns and information on the back. So that's the mini skein set that I made up. And I wish I could show you how bright this one is. It's incredibly bright. Like, it's not really coming through on screen how bright it really is. But that's amazingly bright. And this one's pretty bright too. This one is probably my favorite. It's like extremely dark purples shot through with a lighter purpley blue. Yeah, so they're my minis. And yesterday I dyed up 3 more big skeins, and they're all speckles. I've got a green speckle with green and blue. Got a grey with black, blue and green. And I've got another blue, and this is a different blue to the one that was in the shop. This has got green, black and blue through it. So I'll update that maybe tonight or tomorrow, and you can buy it. So on to my knitting. So I've got a few works in progress right now. I'll start with the one that's giving me the most grief. How many times have you seen this? Looks exactly the same. So I did as the instructions told me, and I knit to row 3 of the pattern. And then I looked at it, and it looked too short. So I put it on scrap yarn and I blocked it. I wet blocked it. And it does look a lot nicer, but it didn't really get any longer. So let me show you on me. If I put that to my underarms, whoops, you can see my tummy. So it really needs to be longer. So I need to keep knitting the pattern more on that until it's long enough, and then I can split for the neck and sleeves. But I'm just super worried that I'm going to run out of yarn. I've only got 2.5 50-gram balls left, and it's just all a very bit stressful. Next, I've got my husband's jumper, which I finally split for the sleeves. As you can see here, that's the sleeve here, sleeve hole. And from the yoke up, it's in moss stitch or double moss stitch or something like that. So gives this nice bumpy appearance, which is lovely. So I'm doing the back at the moment. I've split and I'm doing the back. So hopefully next time I show that to you, I will have done the entire body and I'll be on to the sleeves. So there we go. I really hope it's long enough. I did measure it against him before I split for the sleeves, and hopefully it's alright. It's a tiny bit shorter than the pattern indicated, but I just thought that was too long. So that's the 2 jumpers. Next, I have another thing for my husband because it's his birthday coming up soon. I'll just finish this row actually, so I'll show you while I'm knitting it. This is obviously a pair of socks for my husband, and the yarn is not striped. The yarn is actually a gradient, and I'm striping it with itself. Hold on, just get to the end of this row and then I can show you what I'm working from. So this is just my normal toe up sock recipe that I always use. I just have a wedge toe, and I think I cast on 12 stitches on each needle, and then I increased to 34 or something. So I'm actually doing the 2 socks concurrently. Here's the one that's a little bit further along, and that's for this reason. Here's the yarn I'm working from, and as you can see, it's a gradient. This was originally one ball, starting with this one at the center, and then this was around it. And I wound it into 2 50-gram balls so that I could work the gradient. What I didn't want was to have one dark sock and one lighter sock. I wanted it to be striped so that they end up kind of even. Now, we haven't had any gradient effect yet, but I imagine that will happen soon from one or both of the balls as they get striped. So that's fun to do. And I'm keeping this larger one in a needle cozy that my friend Andrea gave me, which is the cutest thing in the world. I've never had a needle cozy. So it's really lovely and cute. I think it looks like a duck or something. Yeah, and that's really cute, and it means that I don't stab myself with my needles and things don't get messed up in the old project bag. So that's really cute. So you should visit her Etsy site. It's wonderwooldesigns.etsy.com. That's Wonder, W-O-N-D-E-R, W-O-L-L-E, Wonderwool Designs on Etsy. So yeah, go and check her out. She's got some lovely needle cozies and things, and stitch markers. So yeah, that's what I'm doing on that. And I'm trying not to knit it while my husband is around, but that's turning out to be a bit more of a challenge because I like to knit on it. And the last thing I've got on the needles is my entry into our knit-along, which is a knit-along to use up some stash. And this is a hat. It's a top-down hat. I'm making up the pattern as I go along. So what I did was I cast on 4 stitches on using Judy's Magic Cast On, which is what I usually use for toe-up socks. And I have made 12 increases, as you can see. And just increased every other row. And now I'm up to the ribbing. It still doesn't look quite like a hat to me. It kind of looks too big, but I don't see how it can be too big because I've measured the crown against another hat that I made and it should not be too big. So I'm hoping that as I knit down, it'll kind of look more like a hat. And if not, I'll just undo it and try again. I'm not too concerned about wasting my time or anything because it's fun. And I think that's on a 3mm needle. And the yarn is Barocco Folio, which is a nice little yarn. So it's been really fun to have 4 different things on the needles right now. It gives me a bit of variety. And I really am trying to finish that red jumper of mine before I start any other garment for me. Like a cardigan garment or anything. But I've got some things ready to cast on when I'm finished. So we'll see if I can actually get it done. I do want the jumper, so yeah, it's lovely. Okay, so I've got a few other things to show you. Might be a bit of a short episode today. Here's what the next thing on my needles is going to be. Basic top-down baby cardigan for fingering weight yarn. And I thought I'd make another little cardigan for my friend's baby. I thought I would use this yarn here, which is Tumac Valley Yarns Dipped in Rainbows series, and the base is a lovely blue denim colour, and it's shot through with rainbow. So this is just a superwash merino yarn, no nylon, so I thought I wouldn't make socks out of it after all. Yeah, so that's next on the needles, and I think that'll be nice and satisfying to kind of knit a little baby thing. So that's super cute. Right, so I've only been talking for 10 minutes. I'm already pretty much finished. But I was going through my sock drawer with a view to getting rid of some socks. And you know that I've been on a sock knitting kick recently. And here I thought I would show you my first ever socks. Prepare yourselves, because these are terrible. Here they are. These were a pattern called, gosh, I can't even remember, Tracks maybe? I got it out of a magazine, and as you can see, it's got these eyelets that go diagonally up the sock, which is very cute and lovely. I did these on double pointed needles, but just look at the pilling on these. So fluffy. Just incredibly pilly. I haven't worn them all that much. They have a slip stitch heel, like a flap heel, and they aren't quite long enough because I got sick of knitting them. They were top down, so I didn't knit the foot quite long enough, but they're incredibly wide. Like, they're huge. They're just gargantuan socks, but not long enough. And they're really horrible, and I can't wear them in shoes, obviously. I sometimes wore them as bed socks, but they would just fall off my feet. And I just thought I would compare these. These are made with Bendigo Woolen Mills sock yarn to another pair of Bendigo Woolen Mills sock yarn socks I have made. They look completely different. As you can see on these, you can actually see the stripe pattern because it's not so loose. These, like, ugh. These have so many pills on them. These, not so much. I can see that it's a pilly kind of yarn, but not nearly so bad. And I've worn these, you know, a lot more. These socks, these were just my own recipe socks, wedge toe socks. And I measured the gauge on these two pairs of socks. These ones are, what was it, 13.5 stitches for 5 centimetres, so that's 2 inches. So 13.5 stitches for 5 centimetres. These were 18 stitches for 5 centimetres. So my gauge is completely different on this, much, much tighter, and I think that contributes to them not pilling. Also means there's a lot more stitches in here. So yeah, I thought that was just an interesting comparison. And now I'm going to throw these in the bin because they're terrible, terrible, terrible socks. And I'm throwing out things recently. I've gone on a throwing out things kick. Today we're going to go through the bookcase and the bathroom and throw stuff out. Yesterday we went through my husband's clothes and threw a lot of stuff away. Got 4 bags full of clothes to donate and a whole bunch of stuff that just went in the bin because it was disgusting. Yeah, so that's all excellent. Now you might notice I'm a bit down today. Yes, yesterday my husband's grandmother passed away, and we'll be going to Brisbane sometime this week for the funeral, so a bit low-key today. And of course school starts tomorrow, so I've got to go and teach the little darlings. I'm not too worried about school this semester. It is all going to be fine, I think. Yeah, but I've got to go to Brisbane sometime. This weekend we've got, next weekend I mean, we are playing a gig at the Multicultural Festival here, which is a really exciting festival that has lots of music and shops and food stalls, and we're playing with the steel pan band that we're in because, that's from Trinidad. That kind of music is from Trinidad, and that fits into the multicultural theme. So we'll be doing that. Don't know if we'll be able to go to the rehearsal though, because this week's schedule is just up in the air. Something lovely yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it was Friday. I had afternoon tea with Andrea from the Wonderwall podcast, and she gave me this lovely thingy that looks like a duck. And we had a lovely chat and talked about all sorts of things. And I was going to give her a set of minis, and I completely forgot. I left it at home. So, yeah, it was really lovely to see her. So I highly recommend that you check out her Etsy shop. She's got some lovely stitch markers and things for you to buy. And yeah, once again, I've got some new things going into the shop today. Don't know when I'll be able to post things. Yeah, but anyway, I don't have anything else to say really. Sorry, it's been a short episode. Just, yeah. So I hope you have a really lovely week. Hope you get a lot of knitting done. I think that I will probably get a lot of knitting done. It's really fun to knit on 4 things at once. And I'm enjoying all of them except for the red jumper. That's a drag, but I'll do it. I'll do it for the good of the world. Anyhow, I hope you have a really nice week doing things that you like and get a lot of knitting in. Take care. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.